welcome into Nickerson Hall. It's the Indianapolis Greyhounds hosting the Maryville Saints. The Greyhounds, top 25 in the country. Their ranking's going to keep going higher and higher and higher. Indianapolis looks like a good squad right now, but they've got a tough Maryville team who they beat earlier in the year. But, you know, it's going to be a hard-fought contest here inside Nickerson Hall. I'm Nathaniel Finch. That's Drew Ranke. We've got a great contest for you. And, Drew, let's start with the Greyhounds. A huge storyline tonight.
Yeah, so tonight, Jesse Bingham is 13 points away from hitting 1,000 points in his career. So look for the Greyhounds to feed him early and often just so he can kind of get that monkey off his back and just play basketball for the rest of this game. Coming
off a 23-point performance against UMSL in that big top 25 matchup that they had on Saturday. So he's definitely, he's coming off a big game. We'll see if he can continue that. As far as Maryville, though, I mean, bottom 5 in the GLVC conference. They're not one of the better teams, not having their best season. It doesn't mean that the game's over, right?
No, yeah, and I mean 10-6 coming into this game, 3-5 in the GLVC, and they're not a bad team, not at all. So they've played the Greyhounds before. They played them hard. UNE only won by 8, so they really know how to get under the Greyhounds' skin and try and cause some problems. So look for that here early and often as they're trying to feed Jesse, because I'm sure they're aware of it here. I mean, it's a packed house here at Nickerson tonight, so be aware of the Saints trying to get on the defensive end early.
Last time these two teams played was a month ago, and again, the Greyhounds, they won 82-74 in St. Louis. This time it's in Nickerson. Let's get right to it. So, Drew, we've got a great matchup here in front of us. What do you think for the Greyhounds? Let's take a look at some of these starting lineups. Thanks. For Indianapolis, looking at the starting 5, it's a typical starting 5 we've seen over the last month or two. Going to be Josiah Tynes at point guard, Bingham there at guard as well, Bruno Williams at the 3 spot, then forward and center pairing of Jacoby Robinson and Kendrick Choa. You know, it's the typical starting 5 for Indianapolis. But for Maryville, your point guard and shooting guard is going to be Kelvin Swims and Dwayne Voss, a forward of Harrison Vickers, and then 2 big men inside the 4 and 5 position, Ben Palacios and JT Morgan. We're ready to get things underway here at Nickerson Hall. It's Choa who's going to be the one to jump for the Greyhounds, but one of the rare times doesn't win the jump and goes straight out of bounds. It will be Greyhounds ball, though.
He pretty much won that jump with that ball going right out of bounds, so I'll give it to Choa there as the Greyhounds start here with Jesse inbounding the ball.
Bingham and the Greyhounds with their first possession on offense. Tynes going to move things around, ready to get this game underway. Here's Choa, bullied inside. It's not often you see this. He can't get it off, and it's out of bounds. A turnover. Kendrick Choa wins 9 times out of 10 on the inside, but that time they found a great way to double team him. What'd you think there?
He just kind of looked like he lost his footing there underneath the basket, and he kind of fell and just fell on that baseline, and turnover number 1 for the Greyhounds there.
So now it'll be the Saints. Of course, Saint being St. Bernard of Maryville, the 3.5-hour drive from St. Louis. Second St. Louis team the Greyhounds have had here inside Nickerson Hall in the last 3 days. As now it's Voss. Quickly, the cut inside. Can't get it to go, though. JT Morgan a little slow to get the shot off, and it's a violation.
Yeah.
Second turnover.
Great defense there to start off by both sides. I mean, swarming Kendrick Choa underneath the basket really threw him off, and then on the other side, great defense by the Greyhounds. Greyhounds number 1 in defense in the GLVC. As you see, Choa gets us started off here with an easy bucket of his own.
Well, that's one way to start for the Greyhounds. We'll see if they can continue that. But how about that on the other end? Good answer from Dwayne Voss.
Yeah, great answer by the Saints. Just try and match bucket for the Greyhounds here. Early start.
Here's Bruno Williams for 3. What a start for Bruno.
Bruno has really come on this year, and he's been great. He was great at Lewis, but I think he's gotten better and better here under Coach Cesaro and with the guys that he's playing with as well.
How about this stat line against UMSL on Saturday, of course, who's a top 15 team. Bruno Williams, 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. That product from Lewis, a GLVC foe. trying to save it, but he can't. That's going to be another turnover. The Greyhounds have it.
Yeah, huge turnover there by the Saints. I mean, you can't turn the ball over that many times against the Greyhounds. And if they get off and scoring, they're 14-0 this year when they score 68-plus points.
A nice steal there from Voss, who has their only points so far to this juncture in the game. He's going to go up. Nice little look, but can't get it to go. Blocking foul. That'll send Harrison Vickers to the line. And, Drew, this is not that tall of a lineup. I mean, your biggest player here, 6'7", but aside from that, everyone's right around the 6'3", 6'4" range. How are they going to combat the Greyhound size today?
Well, when I was looking at these earlier, I mean, you really, like you said, they don't really have that tall of a lineup. Tallest guy being 6'7". Kendrick Cho is 6'7", but we also have a guy also in our arsenal that's 6'11". So the UIndy has some guys that can really out-rebound Maryville. I mean, when UIndy out-rebounds Team Sioux, they're one of the best probably in the country. So look for that being a storyline here today on how UIndy, how their size really is unmatched.
Greyhounds boasting one of the best defenses in the country, number 1 in the GLVC, top 15 in this nation. They do a great job keeping opposing offenses at bay. So now we've got Tynes after the free throws. Nice little mid-range jumper, and it's good. How about that? A hot start for Bruno Williams.
Bruno with a nice little pump fake there. Took a step inside the line, put up that mid-range J. And it's cash for his first two shots here tonight.
Nice layup on the other end from Voss. He's having a good start over 2 leaping Greyhound defenders.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, is like Maryville's not off to a bad start. As we see Jacoby put up a 3.
Robinson, it's not too much of his strength, shoots 37% from beyond the arc. Can't hit that one there, and it'll be Maryville ball. Wearing these nice, pretty sleek black and red jerseys. Greyhounds in their home craze. You talked about that 7-footer that the Greyhounds have in their arsenal. His name is Julian Steinfeld. He just came out onto the floor, number 21. I'm sure you'll see him in just a moment because, you know, he towers over everybody. He's hard to miss. Tipped out. It'll be Greyhounds ball.
I think that when we say it in pretty much every sport, whoever wins that turnover battle is pretty much going to win the game. Some early turnovers here for the Greyhounds and for the Saints. I mean, 3 for Maryville and 2 for UIndy. It's just whoever can hold on the ball here the longest and the most is going to come out with the victory.
Some newcomers for the team at Gray. Etherington has the ball now. Number 4, Ben Nickerson, in the game as well at guard. And he's got the ball. But your number 1 guy, no matter who's on the floor, is going to be Jesse Bingham. How about this? A 3 from the outside, and he hits it. My goodness, he even withstood some contact. How about the day Bruno Williams has started off with 8 quick points?
There is something in Bruno Williams' eyes tonight. 8 points are in the early going here. 3 for 3 from the field.
Launching a high pass in front of the Greyhounds bench. Coach Corsaro whispering some things into Vickers right there on the other end.
Great defense here by the Greyhounds.
Let up an open 3, though, and it's drained. Can't do that. Can't leave Dylan Ingram open from downtown, the reigning GLVC Freshman of the Year.
I spoke too soon there. As the Greyhounds defense was sweltering, it's just you had an open look, and
seemed like it was the big man in Steinfeld who didn't quite close out on the 3 like you'd hope.
Dylan Ingram, 8.
But here he can make up for it with the slam. The man from Germany.
Yeah, great read there by a couple of UIndy players to find Steinfeld underneath the basket.
The dribble drive, has to kick it out, but hey, another shot from downtown, bounces a miss. Rebound to the big man.
That's that size we're talking about right there. JT Morgan, only a 6'7" junior, and
the 7-footer who's coming off a 6 rebound performance in limited time against UMSL. You know, he just does a better job getting up. Drew, it's hard to beat a man at the rebounding game when he's got 5 inches on you.
Yeah, and Steinfeld's really physical down there too.
He is brought to the ground as Vickers, a little too much contact. Chalk him up with the foul, and that should bring us to the under 16 media timeout. It will. More next here on the GLVC and UND TV. We got Tennessee, Georgia.
Georgia easily, man.
Come on, Tennessee's 8.5-point dogs. Easiest spread of all time.
How?
Because they're good, and Georgia's played nobody.
At least Georgia has a defense.
Oh, come on. You're an IU fan. Your opinion doesn't matter.
My opinion doesn't matter. The only thing you know as a Purdue fan is how to lose to a 15 seed in the March Madness tournament.
We're bowl eligible, my guy. Are you? Make sure to tune in to Last Call Monday nights. We'll talk about Division I football, give you plenty of UND sports, some interviews in there as well, and then plenty of pro sports, whether it be NFL, MLB, the whole shebang.
Yeah, and there's at least one guy that knows what he's talking about.
An early 3-point advantage for Indianapolis, and you know why? It's because they are lights out from downtown to this point in the game. They've hit 2 of their 3 shots from beyond the arc. That makes up half of their field goals. True, they've just been hitting. And as you see, head coach Paul Corsaro there started in the COVID year, similar to his counterpart on the other end of the sidelines. But for Corsaro, he's really building something strong here. 44-25 record after losing his first 7. So if you take those ones out, man, this program is something special. It's thanks to Coach Corsaro.
And it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. 0-7 now into 44-25. So he's something special as we see David Ejop put up a 3 of his own. But as you were talking there, we talked about how the Greyhounds started really well shooting. I mean, Bruno Williams, come on, man. 3 for 3 from the field and 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. 8 points here just in the early goings.
He heads to the bench, gets a break. Palacios has to get rid of the ball. Couple more newcomers into the game. Here, how about the steal? The 1-on-2. Now help comes. He launches one up and misses it, but gets his own rebound. Josiah Tynes, goodness. Ejah thought about a 3. Can't do it, especially after he missed the last one, so he passes it around. In transition, seemed like a tough task for Tynes, but he was up for it. Went up to get his own rebound.
Yeah, great commitment to the ball there, too. I mean, he knew it wasn't going in, so he just tried to get it after the fact.
And one, Jarvis Walker. The little jump-up shot was fouled as it went in. That's one of your newcomers. Jarvis Walker into the game for the first time. David Ejah, number 12, was to his right. And, man, just look at that shot. Through the contact, got it to go in. The transfer from Purdue Fort Wayne.
76% free throw shooter on the year.
Hits a good chunk of these. And he completes the 3-point play. Greyhounds, they now go up by 6. Maryville in transition. Here's the transition 3, and it's a miss. You got to hit those when you're open from the corner. That was Jaden Smith from Quincy University, a transfer.
Great rebound there by Steinfeld, just literally being taller than everybody else to pull down that board.
Ejah almost travels. Has to pass it off to Tynes. Nice little layup, goes in with the left hand. Jarvis Walker. Man, he's a good basketball player.
Walker off to a very hot start here. Getting that and 1 earlier. Finding underneath that baseline and hitting that basket.
Well, it's Jesse Bingham watch, right? He's 13 points away from hitting 1,000 in a career. Here's Voss, who goes up with a circus shot, is fouled by Walker. So we're keeping an eye on Bingham and his scoring. So far, he hasn't scored any, but if I would have told you 6.5 minutes into the game, it's Williams with 8 and Walker with 5, you wouldn't believe me.
I don't know about that. I mean, this team's so well-rounded and so deep on their bench that anybody really could have a good game and a great start, and I would believe any of it. I mean, then again, you could have a poor start and still finish with 20 points in this offense.
UND enjoying a season where they've got the number 2 offense in the conference. The #1 defense, like we mentioned. They've got the #1 scoring margin. Man, they're #1 and 2 all across the board. Top team in rebounding. Second place in the conference in rebounds allowed. I mean, come on. #3 in blocks even, to add insult to injury. And a big reason is because of number 23 here in Robinson. They're just such a dominating team this season. Just 2 losses. They're both inside the conference. Once to Rockhurst, once to Quincy. The rest have been pretty convincing wins and undefeated in non-conference play.
Not to mention, they've won 8 in a row here. I mean, they dropped one of those games at Quincy, and they've kind of just got their stuff together here of late. 8 in a row, like I said. And they've kind of owned Maryville of late. 11-3 in the series. Last time they played was on December 11th. You were talking about that in the pregame show. They won 75-58. They've won the last 2 of the 3 against the Saints.
Williams and Bingham re-enter the game. Also incoming is number 33, Sean Craig. You see him in the middle of your screen there, the freshman for this team. But the big news is, hey, number 15, number 3 back for the team in gray.
Yeah, I'd just like to see Jesse get a bucket here, and he'll fall into a rhythm, and he'll get that 13 points in no time.
Voss gets fouled, looks like by Steinfeld as he tried to go up for a layup. It sure will be, just a little too strong from the big man.
Sarah doesn't look too happy about something.
There's Coach Jesse Shaw of Maryville as well, as you see. Started the same time that Paul Corsaro did for the Greyhounds over his tenure. We'll tell you about that here in a little bit. How about that defense? Maybe not quite good defense. There's a foul, but pretty suffocating on that end of the floor was Josiah Tynes.
Josiah Tynes picks up his 2nd personal foul here on the early goings of this one. It's something to watch as this game goes on.
Another open 3 from the corner and another miss for Maryville. The rebound goes awry. It's a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Maryville.
That's what you like to see. I mean, you see all these scrappy plays on the floor. Jesse leads that. He leads that charge right there, and we got another jump ball. Ball, fortunately, goes to Maryville.
Known as Palacios, who took that shot from the corner. He's been a really good 3-point shooter so far this year. 41% from downtown. He shoots 47 overall. Hey, he'll give you 15 and 4 a game, team's top scorer. One of their best players. Cleaning up a little bit of a mess on the floor. We'll see if these guys can come back and sweep my apartment too. It probably needs it. Let's go ahead and step aside. Here on the GLVC Sports Network and UND TV. Coming back hot as the Greyhounds off to an 8-point lead, nearly doubling up the score of the Saints early on in this one. Here's Voss trying to lead the offense, gets the backdoor cut, but 3 gray jerseys. That leads an open one from the corner. Yet another miss. Can't connect was Vickers, and man, this team's struggling. 1 of 5 from downtown early. Here's a shot from Craig. The freshman can't get it to go either.
They gotta get Jesse the ball at some point. I mean, he hasn't really touched it so far. Great defense there by Maryville.
How about that? Keeping his feet in bounds and launching the pass. That was a clinic from Dylan Ingram, and he gets a great pass off. That leads to points. And not a bad job by Maryville. That time it was Kelvin Swims to make the shot, but credit to Ingram. Like we said, that freshman of the year from a year ago who makes that impressive play to keep both toes in bounds. Foul. Looks to be a moving screen on Nickerson, so give possession to the Saints. And with that, we've hit the under 12 media timeout. The Greyhounds off to a 6-point lead. More next from Nickerson Hall.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UIndy TV News.
At Nickerson Hall, there between the legs of plenty of Saints players, you see the red shirt of Jesse Shaw. In his third year with the team, he joined in that 2020 year that was abbreviated, just a conference-only schedule that season. Yeah, and since then, he's been trying to find his footing with the Saints, having probably his best season at 10-6 to this point. It's not a bad start here for Maryville, who averaged just 10 wins over their entire first two seasons. And for Jean, he joined Maryville after a 4-year assistant with UMSL, crosstown rivals in St. Louis. Not only that, Drew played in 2 Elite Eights as a player with Northwest Missouri State. He's a good player as well as a good coach.
Yeah, I mean, last year, 12-17, not terrible, not great. I mean, obviously you want to be better than that. But he's starting to build a program. 10-6 this year, 3-5 in conference. They're looking like a solid team here so far. Down 6 right now. It's the first place Greyhounds, as we hold that right now. It's the first place Greyhounds in the GLVC.
And you would like to, have a little bit better record in conference, right? 3-5, that's not quite ideal. Non-conference play, though, I mean, they were looking pretty good. So it's just been in the GLVC that they've kind of struggled a little bit. They play their best ball at home, though. 6-1, their one only loss being to the Greyhounds back there in Cincinnati, or in in St. Louis. But it's when they travel away that they're 1-5.
Yeah, I was looking at that they are 3-5 on the road. Or, excuse me, 1-5 on the road, 3-5 in the GLVC. It's just they've struggled on the road. I mean, obviously that bus ride from St. Louis to here isn't short, and it's a hard thing. I mean, winning on the road is hard anywhere.
You would know about long bus rides, Drew. As a swimmer, you just had to come back at 2 a.m. Friday night and Saturday morning from a swim meet up in Michigan, and then you called 2 games that day. You're a warrior, huh?
I did. I love it. It's the grind. It's the best part of the year.
Voss on the inside, a lot of contact, finds Palacios again, who fakes a 3. This time thinks better of it, gets it to Voss. How about the handle on Dwayne Voss to drop in the 2?
Voss is off to a great start. 7 points here so far. That's half of what Maryville has. So Greyhounds really need to pay attention to him as this game goes on.
Robinson backs down on Swims, but a whistle. Looks like Swims is going to be called with the foul there. Robinson just a little too much for the Saints on that possession.
And the Saints have played some great defense here to start the early goings. Down 4 right now. And it's just, UIndy's so multi-talented and so deep on their bench. It's impressive.
Bingham on the drive. Kicks it back out. Greyhounds halfway through the clock. Need to get a shot off here in the next few moments. It's Walker to try to do that. Another kick out. Here's Bingham, still scoreless. Can that change? It doesn't. And that's, he's not scoreless because he's missed a bunch of shots. He's been passing to his teammates, finding other guys who've been open. Credit to the Saints defense keeping the clamps on Jesse Bingham. That was just his first shot.
Yeah, that was his first shot of the 9, and it was a highly contested shot when the shot clock was winding down.
One that he almost made as well.
Yeah,
so
you have to take that into consideration.
Bruno Williams enters the game for Aaron Etherington. Etherington, who just got a nice steal there for Indianapolis. With Tynes on the bench, Williams picks up that point guard role. Trying to do some work on the perimeter. Robinson from the corner. 10 seconds to go. Straight away. 3. Just off the mark, but it's Ejah with the rebound and a foul. That's the 5th foul called against the away team. Just 2 away from bonus shots. Listen, though, they're going to say that it was in the act of shooting, so send Ejah to the line. Drew this year 62% from the stripe. Transfer from St. Francis. That's an NAIA school.
Yeah, and NAIA is no joke. Don't get me wrong there. I mean, 2021, 2022 NAIA All-American honorable mention, so David Ejah's got some ball to him. Career high 14.7 rebounds.
And that would be a Division II career high, right? So all of his stats that you get from the NAIA don't quite translate over to Division II. But you're right, he's having a pretty decent season so far with the Greyhounds, a man off the bench. As we see whistles blowing on the other end. Going to send JT Morgan to the foul stripe. Let's take a look at what happened here. Just a little too much. Looks like
and over the back there.
Yeah, Robinson just a little too much contact there. His first, team's 7th, so bonus shots. He'll get 2 from the line, though. Hits the first. JT Morgan makes just over half of his free throws from Detroit, Michigan. Didn't play against the Greyhounds earlier, but now he's starting, and he's off to a decent start. Morgan hit both of his free throws. Leads Williams to bring up the ball. Into the game now comes the 7-footer in Steinfeld. Good perimeter defense of late. Obviously, the Greyhounds opened up all cylinders firing from downtown, but since then, they haven't had a lot of open shots. It's just been the interior defense, Drew, that's been lacking. A lot of fouls.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, is like, yeah, Bruno started off great. I mean, he hasn't shot since. 3 for 3 from the field, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. 8 points right now, but since that little barrage that he had, he stopped shooting. Other than that, nobody's really made a shot for the Greyhounds. I mean, they've gone to the line a couple times. And like you said, it's just all been attack, attack, attack the goal. I mean, if you start to spread it out along the arc, then you can get more looks down low. I mean, you're going to draw that defense out to you on the perimeter, and then those are going to open up the opportunities for Steinfeld, for Choa down low.
Jarvis Walker sinks one in. Give him 2 free throw makes from that trip. Shooting nearly 80%, so no surprise there. On the other end, though, Voss trying to set up an offense. This offense that he's been, the big component of at that time, just tries to feed a cutting guy inside. You don't have big enough guys for those types of alley-oop plays, and it goes right over his head.
It was a little behind him, a little bit of a miscommunication there. So try and get cute with it, then you're going to turn the ball over, and you don't want to turn the ball over against these Greyhounds.
Jesse Bingham still scoreless. Inside, the big man is not scoreless. In fact, that's his 2nd slam of the game.
And that's what I was talking about there on the last segment. As we look at Steinfeld's jam right here. Nice feed there from Jarvis Walker and puts him up top. But yeah, like what I was saying was you have those, that's how that opened up. You draw the defense out to you on the outside, and then you have Steinfeld down low that can do that every time.
Voss to back down Williams. Good defense from Bruno. Ingram passes it away. He should have taken the shot. It's a violation.
And that's a huge defensive stand for the Greyhounds.
Timeout called. It's a good one from Coach Shaw, who's trying to get his team back on track. So when we return, it's the Greyhounds with a nice 7-point lead early in this one.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. we have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UIndy TV News.
There's the big man, Julian Steinfeld. Let's take another look at what he had just committed on the inside. Just skies up and slams it down. What a dunk from him. Look at that. Julian Steinfeld, man from Frankfurt, Germany. Bingham on the other end with the drive and the stop and the pop and a miss. A rebound on the other end. Nice little layup with the right hand, JT Morgan. That was Davis Walker who hit that last bucket. Williams, a little mid-range shot, but it's not good either.
Williams' first miss of the night.
Been a bit of a cold stretch for Indianapolis. They've only made one of their last 7 from the field. Physical defense, and now suddenly hobbled is Dwayne Voss, and you hate to see that because he's been electric for this team. It's been about all they got. Inside, Palacios, too strong, can't get it to go. And guess who? Dwayne Voss, hobbling around, still finds time for the board and the putback.
Yeah, Voss is up to 9 points on the game. Has yet to miss. The only miss came from one free throw.
Jarvis Walker with the drive, and it's rejected, but he puts it back in. 2 points for Jarvis Walker.
That was pretty big for the Greyhounds. Only up 5 now. So Maryville starting to figure out their rhythm on offense.
Here's Walker. Has to pass it. Palacios comes in strong, tries to feed his man, and it's blocked. Steinfeld blocks it, and it's a loose ball. Maryville back with 5 seconds. Reeling needs a shot. They get it from the corner, and they miss another one. Drew, this team 1 of 7 from downtown today. They can't buy a bucket from downtown.
Yeah, they should really try and avoid threes as much as possible right now. Nobody can really make one. I mean, like you said, 1 for 6. But everywhere else, inside that three-point arc, they are pretty much cash. I mean, shooting almost 50% from the field.
You know who is good? Cash money from Bruno Williams.
Bruno with a straightaway 3. You really can't beat him there. As we take a look here, lines that one up, puts it in.
And he extends the lead to 8.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
The huddle breaks at Nickerson Hall. The Greyhounds celebrating after building up an 8-point lead. Still 6 to go here in half number 1, and a big part to this lead, that man right there, number 15, Bruno Williams, 11 points, already in double figures, already more points than he had in what ended up being an impressive outing against Umsel, but man, he is enjoying some success. Here's one from downtown, one of his 3 makes on his many attempts. He has been near perfect today, and now he's defending Voss, their best player on the other end. Voss with a nice cut, goes around, tossing one up. Vickers gets it to go.
That was an impressive shot there by Harrison Vickers. I mean, running into Kendrick Choa, your body just stops, and that's what happened there. He still got the bucket to fall somehow.
Bingham, his first points today are not quite here yet. And now a foul will send Choa to the line. It sure looked like Bingham was good on that layup, but it just slides out. Something's been just a little off.
Might be he knows that he's 13 points away. The pressure might kind of be getting to him, but at the same time, that ball should have fallen in. I mean, that was all halfway in the bucket, and it kind of rolled out.
I don't know how much you can blame him for that miss. It did look like a nice one. It was very contested as well, as we see Choa bouncing one around.
And first free throw miss there for Choa tonight, but he has improved so much over the last year and a half on his free throws. I mean, shooting almost 70% from the line.
Drew, he's improved so much over the last, 2.5 weeks. He's just been, we saw his free throw numbers right around 50% for the majority of 2022, and now that we've turned a new calendar year, a little bit before that as well, he's just been improving it now to almost 20 percentage points.
He has that mindset to be a dog, and he is.
Stolen away, picked up out of the air from Bingham, and now this will set up the Greyhounds offense with another possession. And Bingham himself with the drive. He goes in and kicks it out to Williams. Fakes a three. You got to respect it. They really sent a lot in on Williams, not letting him take that shot. Ingram with it. Corner. Williams. Oh, there's his first miss.
There's a nice look out there in the left corner, and just unfortunate bounce for him.
Dwayne Voss from three. Uncontested, but there's a reason for it. Wasn't able to connect. And now Williams on the other end. The feed. Oh, a missed shot at a slam, and you hear everybody in Nickerson Hall with that same reaction. This time it's a charge. Bucket doesn't count. Bruno does a nice job there on defense.
Kendrick was so close to a poster. It was all written right there. All he had to do was finish, and could not go down with the bucket.
You think that affects him at all? Is he going to think twice? Next time he tries to go in for a dunk, next time he tries to be physical on the inside, is he going to think twice about it now that happened?
Oh, no. With Kendrick, I think he's just going to go up again and put that thing down. I mean, I think he's
got to get redemption, right?
Yeah.
Bruno Williams to cross the timeline. Having a day. Jarvis Walker with it. Here's a three ball from Aaron Etherington. Spins around with a rebound. And a lot of contact, but it looks to be all ball. How about Tutu Chisholm knocking that one out? Man from Queensbridge, New York. And now Palacios with a runner. Can't get it to go. Rebound from Vickers. Launches up a hook shot. Left-handed can't go either. Voss tries his best, but it ultimately ends up in the hands of Aaron Etherington. Choa backing on the inside on Morgan, and he drops it in.
I like how they're going down low, and it's working pretty well for Choa right now. Has 5 points so far.
Breaks a scoreless 100-second streak for Indianapolis. They're finally able to get back on the board. Start to increase this lead. For Maryville, it's been a bit longer. 2 minutes since they've seen a bucket. Voss trying to change that. Nice spin. Kicks it out. Looked to be a kickball. They didn't call it. Instead, look at that pass. Dwayne Voss, my goodness. A great pass over to Vickers, who sinks the three.
Deep three by Vickers, shooting 50% from beyond the arc here this year. And he is on fire.
26 of his 28 made shots are all from downtown, man. Or rather, 16 of his 28, I beg your pardon. Goes out of bounds. Off the hands of Bingham, inside of 4. More next from Nickerson Hall on the GLVC Sports Network and UIndy TV.
You got Tennessee, Georgia.
Georgia, easily, man.
Come on, Tennessee's 8.5-point dogs. Easiest spread of all time.
How?
Because they're good, and Georgia's played nobody.
At least Georgia has a defense.
Oh, come on. You're an IU fan. Your opinion doesn't matter.
My opinion doesn't matter. The only thing you know as a Purdue fan is how to lose to a 15 seed in the March Madness tournament.
We're bowl eligible, my guy. Are you? Make sure to tune in to Last Call Monday nights. We'll talk about Division I football, give you plenty of UND sports, some interviews in there as well, and then plenty of pro sports, whether it be NFL, MLB, the whole shebang.
Yeah, and there's at least one guy that knows what he's talking about.
You're looking at the Maryville Saints, who sunk their first three-pointer that they attempted this game. Since then, it has been a rough shot, but how about this? To bookend those threes, it was Vickers making that one of late. Now suddenly it's back to a 6-point game, and you're just a couple shots away from tying. Gotta like where you're at against the number 1 team in the conference, one of the top 25 squads in the nation.
Yeah, Maryville's hanging around right there right now, and only down 6. Playing, like you said, one of the top teams in the nation. It's pretty impressive.
For the Greyhounds, you haven't made a 3 unless your name is Bruno Williams. They are 3 of 9, and they all belong to him. Here's another 3 from Vickers, and he's 2 of 2. Harrison Vickers, a pretty shot from the right wing. Mid-range floater, still with the lid on that bucket for number 3. Voss doesn't like what he sees in front of him. It's a duo of Williams and Steinfeld. Gets help. Nice little turnaround. How about this fadeaway? The bank is open. What a shot from mid-range.
And all of a sudden, it's a 1-point game.
And all of a sudden, Dwayne Voss hits double figures. He has been impressive, to say the least. Not just on the ball, but off the ball as well. He's having a good day. Inside, the big man launches one up, and it's taken away. Vickers pokes it out of his hand. Maryville's got the momentum.
I think Jesse really just needs to have one go in and just see the ball go through the hoop.
You know, it's been kind of that way for him sometimes, right? I mean, he's the team's leading scorer. He's hit double figures in all but one game. That was last Thursday. As getting the best of Steinfeld was Harrison Vickers, and Corsaro upset calls the timeout. Vickers is happy about it. But for Bingham, you know, he's gone on stretches here where he's gone with a slow start, maybe the first 10 minutes of the game or so, and then he just starts lighting it up and really opens up a barrage here on the scoreboard. You think that that's going to be the case today? They're almost halfway through, and he has yet to score a point.
Yeah. Especially since...
Oh, never mind, we're in break.
No,
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UIndy TV News.
Coming back hot to cross the timeline now, assuming point guard duties, the big man, the forward, and Jacoby Robinson. He takes now a pretty good ball handler in his own right inside. Now he gets a shot from the corner. Robinson, money. Jesse Bingham's teammate from Warren Central. Maybe it'll be big help for Bingham to see his teammate having some success. Maybe he can join him.
Yeah, Bingham, like we were talking about before we went to break, I think he just needs to get one going. One before the half here would be huge for him, just so he doesn't have so much pressure coming out of halftime.
Inside, Voss trying to get it, can't. Great defense from Williams and Robinson. And it's Bruno Williams who has it stolen away, 1-on-1. Make that 2-on-1. Nice pass, Vickers trying to hold it in. And how about that? The defense of the Greyhounds withstands the fast break.
Great defense there by Jacoby Robinson, taking angles and trying to cut off the scoring path.
Voss navigates traffic to the corner. Vickers for the lead. Can't do it. You've got just a few seconds to separate the two clocks. The Greyhounds are going to take as long as they can here. Robinson's upset. So is Coach Corsaro. Launches his hands up. And now, like you mentioned, need a bucket. A spin around too short. How about the rebound? The circus shot. Can't get that one to go, and there's 8 seconds to go. Stolen away and poked out of bounds. Maryville ball. So here's the situation. You got 5.2 seconds. You're down by 2. A 3 gives you the lead. Going to the break. A 2 ties it. Makes you feel pretty good. Regardless, Maryville's got to feel good about where they're at.
That was an insane attempt there by Aaron Etherington. I have never seen something like that here at the University of Indianapolis. He went up, went under, and then tried to spin that thing back off the goal.
That's something we see all the time from maybe a Bingham, maybe a Williams, but not. Oh, speaking of Bingham, trying to poke it away. That's not something Etherington's accustomed to. How about this? The Greyhounds only ahead by 2 after a half. Maryville's been able to get the best of them of late. We see here a few great plays, especially from Bruno Williams. That one was from Robinson. The Greyhounds finding a little bit of success from downtown, but for the most part, Maryville here in the last 4 or 5 minutes really starting to take the air out of the building. When we return, the Greyhounds up by 2 on the other end of the half on the GLVC Sports Network and UND TV.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. 30. Touchdown. Michaela burns it. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela burns it. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Well, it's so many memories, I would say. I think the things that when my teammates and I get together, what we enjoy the most, I think, are just all the stories, all the things that happen between us playing against some of the best schools. You know, we played some Division I schools. We beat Eastern Illinois twice. A thrill for a Division II school to go in and to beat a Division I school. And I think we remember, you know, feeling like kind of the David versus Goliath. And that's what I think we realized, if you can come together as a group, you know, that you can have success. Well, I think any competitive person, it's tough. But I still look at it today, you know, it's been 30 years since I played competitive basketball, and in the business world and the education world, you lose, and things happen, and you go back to your playing days, and you got knocked down and you got to get back up. So that was kind of our mantra. to have dreams. As a little kid, I had dreams that I wanted to do something athletically, and basketball was my passion. And so I don't care what it is, do something that you like, that you're passionate about. That to me is the most important thing, and then work to achieve it. And if you work hard enough at it, I think your dreams can come true, even when people tell you it'll never happen. And that to me was kind of the David versus Goliath thing. Yeah, and it's a cliche, but I do think life is a game. Life is a competition. And I think I was prepared because I competed in college, and I say the same thing to people. You kind of those same attributes. You have to work hard, you have to practice what you want to do, and you have to believe in yourself, and you have to have those dreams, and you put that package together, and I think it's a pretty good package for success. Hi, I'm Larry Tucker. I'm a former NCAA student athlete from Lewis University.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back at Nickerson Hall, it's the Greyhounds holding Drew just a 2-point lead. Kind of uncharacteristic. We've seen the Greyhounds really pull away from some teams this year. But, man, this is a close one. The Greyhounds have put up some good numbers, though. How about that? Julian Steinfeld, a couple of his dunks. They have been, in some hot stretches at times, Drew. They started off super hot, got up to as many as 9 points as their lead. But Maryville, they've just come back. I think a big reason why, rebounding, Maryville leads the category, and then points in the paint as well. Maryville is just kind of dominating on the inside, and that's uncharacteristic of what UND's used to.
Yeah, and throughout the entire year, we've seen the Greyhounds dominate in the paint, and throughout on their defensive side, they've really locked down the rim. And here tonight, we can see that UND is only shooting 40% from the field. Maryville is shooting 46%. That's a pretty big differential for them right now. and they're getting out-rebounded. That's a huge thing for the Greyhounds. If the Greyhounds get out-rebounded, then they really can't. They haven't been proven to win a game if they get out-rebounded. They need to out-rebound the other team to come out with a victory.
And you know what, Drew? Each of the Greyhounds' 14 wins this year, they've shot 44% or more. When they're below that, they get a loss. So, I mean, right now they're at 40%. They're below that mark. If they hold on to it, then, if history can repeat itself. So, you got to imagine they just want to take some better shots, make sure they can hit some more. Even on the inside, a lot of these shots, if they're pretty automatic from 5-6 feet out, they're missing. So, you got to imagine if they can start making some of those shots from inside that painted area, it could be blowing the game back open. But hey, all this criticism, they're still up by 2. No look pass from Voss inside, missing the shot. But how about this rebound? The dribble and getting out of traffic. Kelvin swims, now sets up the 3. Vickers, he had a strong first half, misses that one though.
And I think, Maryville shoots 47% from the field on average throughout the season so far, but they give up 45. So the Greyhound, they do give up shots, and the Greyhounds just need to find those and capitalize on that.
A missed shot early in this half, almost a miscue, but instead it swims to pick up the drop from Vickers. He'll launch one to the corner to Palacios. Palacios, the team's best player, has been a lid on the basket for him as well, though. He's yet to score. Can't change that there, an air ball. So Bingham, the Greyhounds' leading scorer, Palacios, the Saints' leading scorer, both combined for 0 points, Drew.
Yeah, and I don't think that's that big of a storyline unless it starts to get really, really close.
You know what the big storyline is, though, Drew, is that number 3 for the Greyhounds, he's 13 points away from hitting 1,000, and he's one of those 2 that has the goose egg. He can change that here, though, from downtown. Can't do it, too strong. Rebound goes to Tynes. He's going to go up strong. Look at that pass. Double teaming, losing the ball, and it's a foul. Send Joe to the line, which happens so often with the Greyhounds' big man.
Yeah, and that's why I think he's gotten a lot better. In his mind, he needed to get better at free throws because he knew that people were going to try and foul him and trying to send him to the line. So he was like, I got to get better at shooting free throws, and he has. And 68% on the year, 1 for 2 today.
A silent Nickerson Hall watches the first of 2 sink in. It's been a decent crowd these last few games for Indianapolis, for this men's team. It's quiet now because they want to see Choa hit it, but when things go well for Indianapolis, we're going to hear it in this arena. And he hits them both.
Choa going 3 for 4 so far here today, and I think that's been really special for him. He is one of those people that can be an X factor in a game. And if it comes down to free throws at the end, he's got to get hit, and they're going to send him to the line. So building confidence throughout the regular season, I think is huge for him.
The turnaround shot, too shy. It was from 5 feet away. As a little mix-up there. Choa happy with the results.
I'd like to see Jesse kind of get going here, kind of give it into a rhythm. I feel like he's kind of forcing up some shots right now, and I think that he just needs to, like I've said a little bit so far, he just needs to see one go through. And I think he just needs to get comfortable. There's a little bit of pressure on him, but there's nothing that he hasn't done before.
Josiah Tynes kicks it out to his teammate around the arc. Still waiting on the first points from Bingham. He gives it up. Greyhounds, such a good team when it comes to assisting each other, passing the ball around, waiting for good shots. They've got 7 to take one here. It's going to be Bingham going in strong. Was he fouled? Doesn't matter. First points for the man from Warren Central.
11.
11 points away.
It's not like we're counting or anything.
He's got 989 career points. Does Jesse Bingham. Could that one be an open of the floodgates for number 3? Couple missed buckets from the Saints and a jump ball. And Kendrick Cho is pretty upset about that. He felt like he had full possession of it, and they just came up and tried to grab it from him.
Kendrick wanted that rebound.
Instead, to jump ball, Greyhounds still get possession, but you're right, it doesn't count in his stats for rebounding. And I don't think Cho needs to worry about how many rebounds he's getting. He pulls them down by the dozens at times. Currently top 24 on the all-time rebounding list. He's actually now at number 23.
Yeah, he just passed him with that last rebound, the one before that. kind of insane. What he's done so far in his time here at UIndy.
Just a junior. It's just his 3rd year with this team. He can continue to build on that. Bruno Williams, who's hit his fair share of shots so far today. Inside, turnaround, jump shot, mid-range, and it's good from the GLVC logo. And I'd say we're going to continue counting these down. If I was a gambling man, Drew, which I am, I'd say that Bingham's about to hit this 1,000-point mark here in the next 10 minutes or so.
9 away.
Kicking around, trying to evade the defense. They do a good job at that, finding some open gaps here. But the miscue sends the ball towards the timeline. 10 seconds to shoot. Here's Davis Walker, launches one up, contested, can't get it to go. The 7-footer pulls down the board.
UIndy's starting to impose their will on the defensive end and the offensive end as well. I mean, not allowing a bucket so far here in the second half.
Williams backs down his defender, and Kelvin swims, launches up a shot, and he makes it. Give him the foul. That man is hyped up, gets the high fives from Paul Corsaro, sent him to the line for the and one.
Bruno's been so good for this team. I mean, as you see here, drives, hits that little jab step, puts it up, grabs the foul, sends him to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Williams so far on the day, 5 of 8 shooting. He's hit 3 of his 4 attempts from beyond the arc, and he has 14 points. And the Greyhounds open up this lead. It's been a 12-0 run for Indianapolis after Maryville. Yet to score out of the break.
Yeah, I mean, they've been held scoreless for the last 5:45, and that's something that Greyhounds, as soon as I say that, of course, they put a basket in, but it was something the Greyhounds did really well coming out of this half.
The horn sounds, signals media timeout, and we'll step aside. Hear from Nickerson Hall. Greyhounds with the lead.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
Looking at Paul Corsaro, talking to this Greyhounds team. Take a look at what just happened. It was Bingham able to launch up a heavily contested shot.
Now
There's a different angle of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at it, he's starting to find a rhythm and starting to find a little bit of comfort in putting these shots up. Here's Bruno on that and one that really started to open up the floodgates for the Greyhounds.
But the last bucket was made by Dwayne Voss. He got fouled on it. Here's his and one attempt. Completes a three-point play for Voss. He's already got 14 points today, 6 of 8 from the field and 6 rebounds. He's putting up an incredible performance against the Greyhounds.
I mean, he didn't score at all last time these two teams played. Had 0 points at 23 minutes.
He's changed that for sure. Here's Etherington from the corner.
Can't leave that man open.
Nickerson tries to jump the lane. Voss keeps a good handle on it. Trying to find an outlet, and he does. Out to his teammate Davis Walker. On the inside, rejected, no foul. Vickers can't get it to go. Steinfeld sends it the other way. And now the Greyhounds gonna take a little breather. And that's just been the difference from this half to the last one. The Greyhounds really realized they need to be the bullies on the inside. Here's Bingham trying to do just that. Knocked out of bounds. Greyhounds will keep possession.
It looked like he got hit pretty hard there on his way up.
Ija, Tynes, Robinson into the game. Cho is in there as well, and a little bit of a platoon swap here for Indianapolis. The long inbound goes to Tynes. And a foul. Pleading his case there is JT Morgan, but he's going to get called to the foul. Greyhounds to inbound it. A quick substitution. Harrison Vickers quickly re-enters the game for the aforementioned JT Morgan, who picks up a foul there. For Morgan, it's already his third personal foul. The long inbounds pass comes to Ija. The Greyhounds, quick feed inside. Hack-a-shack time. Send Choa to the line. Indianapolis with an 11-point lead. It's their longest of the day, trying to increase that here. Choa from the stripe. Drops it in the bucket. Going to continue to increase on this lead, up by 12 now. Choa hits the first but drops the second. It's a miss. Corner shot, looks like a 2. It is, doesn't matter. Too strong. Palacios still scoreless. Inside, Choa slides it in for another couple. Kendrick Choa hits double figures yet again. He has 10 points. He has 5 rebounds for Choa. That is the 12th straight game in which he has had 10 or more on the scoring side of things.
The way he lined that one up, I thought he was going to jam that one.
Stolen away. Fast break. David Ija trying to get it. He launches it up and slams it down. Up high and down low. The first dunk of the season for David Ija, and a timeout warranted from Jesse Shaw. My goodness. Drew Ranke. Look what we just saw.
Ija got a great steal. A little bit of a fumble there, but put that one up on my man's head. That's an easy 2 points for the Greyhounds. 51-35, Greyhounds lead.
When we return from Nickerson Hall.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UIndy TV News.
The huddle up here at Nickerson Hall. Greyhounds with David Ija, who skies up, climbs the ladder, and just drops it into the bucket. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, pulling the ball like that, off balance, running all the way to the basket, dropping the hammer.
Normal man would have just dropped the ball, or they would have had to dive on it, but he somehow kept his balance, brought the ball up, and increased this lead for Indianapolis. It has been nothing out of the break for Maryville. It's been all Greyhounds. An 8-0 run, 20-3 since we came out of the break. Ball goes off the foot of a Saint. They kick the ball around looking for an open shot, and a miscommunication. It was Kelvin Swims who thought he had a man in the corner. Instead, he didn't, so he sends that one out of bounds, and the Indianapolis Greyhounds will inbound. How about this? Yet another turnover for the Saints team. They had 10 first-half turnovers. That's their 13th.
Yeah, I mean, holding Maryville to 3 points in the second half, and we are almost 7 minutes into it.
An injury on the floor, slowly getting up. They're going to have to stop play for Kelvin Swims as he sustains a bit of a knee injury there. He's going to get up and limp around. You hate to see this. You're going to have to send in a replacement. It's going to be Dwayne Voss to come in for him, and well, you hope that they can get things sorted out with his, looks to be his left knee. Just fell down kind of hard on the inside. Tynes to inbound, launches it into Jacoby Robinson. Offensive foul. It'll be called, it appears, against Kendrick Choa. Bit of an illegal screen there.
Choa got a little bit wrapped up underneath the basket there. I mean, that happens, but as I said, Choa is just a little bit bigger than his defender, so he tried to gain a little bit more position.
His second foul today. Coach will let him stay in. And you know, when Choa racks up fouls, typically it's because of, you know, how physical he is on, you know, in the painted area. But that time it was just an offensive foul, just a little bit of a mistake there.
And it happens. I mean, Choa's grown into this great player to where, I mean, I feel like he's allowed to make a couple mistakes here and there because he'll make up for it on the other end.
The steal from Bingham, nice little poke away from Sean Craig on the other end. Here's Tynes, goes up strong, kicks it to his teammate in Choa, and he's fouled on the attempt. Back to the line. Kendrick Choa just set up a tent there. He's been spending the entire game at the free throw line. This will be his 7th and 8th free throw attempt today. Into the game returns Jaden Smith of the Saints. Had 10 points against the Greyhounds last time these two teams collided about a month ago, December 11th. That one was in St. Louis. The Greyhounds won that game. They won in St. Louis. Now on the other end. Running down the floor. It's Dwayne Voss, who's having a good game, but, you know, Drew has cooled off. That's maybe the big reason why Maryville's cooled off. A 9-0 run for Indianapolis. From the corner, it's a triple, and making his return to the floor is Jaden Smith. Drops in the three-pointer.
That ends the 21-5 run by the Greyhounds over the last 10 minutes of gameplay.
And it halts the 9-0 run that we saw over the last 3. Here's Bingham. He's been slow. He's only made 2 buckets today. Both came in this first half, but he hasn't made a bucket in the last 5 or so minutes. Trying to turn around and get one to drop is Bruno Williams, but he can't. Rebound on the other end from the team in black. The launch, looking for a 3. Smith tries to cut it in, stolen away. The Greyhounds with numbers. It's Choa. You better get out of the way. Kendrick Choa drops it. It's not a make.
Took a little bit of contact on the way up there, and I mean, could have been a foul. It's a real judgment call. I don't think there's an official in the area.
On the other end for Maryville. Pass the ball around. Strong, Morgan knocked away. Now with numbers again. Let's try this one again. The feed, the inside layup off the left side of the glass. And it's Bruno Williams to increase on his point total.
That could have been one heck of a jam if Bruno decided to put that one in harder.
Indianapolis opens up a nice lead here. It's just a full timeout, so we'll step aside from Nickerson Hall.
award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UIndy TV News.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the
Coming in hot. Back on the floor, backing down his defender. Here's Maryville with swims. Kicks it out. Here's a triple. That one's a tad too strong off the back end of the iron. But they get the ball back. Here's Maryville. Nice pass on the inside. Morgan, oh, now he struggles. Has to get it off. 15 seconds. Stolen away. All by himself with the layup. Josiah Tynes. Tynes didn't have the best statistical day as far as scoring goes on Saturday, but Coach Corsaro didn't want him to. He said after the game that he told Josiah, hey, look, I know you can shoot very well as the three goes awry for the Saints. Says, Joe, I know that you can shoot very well. You're shooting almost 50% from downtown, but I don't want you to shoot tonight. Against Umsel, his job was to run the floor, to be the leader on the floor, pass the ball around, get some rebounds here and there, but mainly just to be that floor general, be that coach on the floor. And boy, was he that on Saturday. Only had 5 points, but 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and was just a great leader as he is and has been all year, Josiah Tynes.
And I think he does that pretty much every game. I mean, that was his first bucket of the game right there. 2 points tonight, and it came here midway through the second.
Three-pointer. His name is Jaden Smith, and he's hit 2 of those in a row.
Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, he's one of those people, like you call him, the floor general. I mean, he always talks to guys after a play's happened, making sure they know if they did good or if they did bad.
And that time we get a charge. Called against Jarvis Walker and give the ball to the Saints. I mean, that's how you can really get back into this game. You hit a couple threes on one end, get a couple turnovers on the other end.
And that was a forced turnover right there. Josiah Tynes bringing that one up for his first points of the game.
Still going to take a lot more to get back in this game for the Saints, but it's a good start. And there's still plenty of time for it as well.
And we saw it in the game before this against Maryville and UIndy.
Another pass to the corner, still scoreless. Yet another air ball, the second for Ben Palacios, and man, he has just been off. Here's Tynes thinking about a three, rips it in. Josiah Tynes drops down 3 fingers. What a shot for him, and suddenly he's got a couple quick baskets, and he takes the charge. Swims is upset, but the Greyhounds right back with momentum, and it's Tynes doing it by himself. Look at this replay.
Tynes with the 3, bangs that one home, and then on the other end, takes that charge. And that is how a leader does it right there.
So you get the quick 3. You don't have to play much defense. Now you're back on offense. Greyhounds have to like this. Here's Tynes to slowly get it across the timeline. Facing some tight defense from Jaden Smith. Here's a 3 from Etherington. Just too much of a contested shot. Voss with some good defense. Etherington, that's just not a good shot.
Yeah, it just kind of rolled out of his hand weird as well, so nothing really going there.
From the corner again, it's Smith, but he can't get that one to go. The 7-foot man from Germany keeps it in, and it's Steinfeld. On the other end, no-look pass. Faking the 3, goes in, and now you just got to reset things. Steinfeld with it, but take it back out, take a breather. Walker migrates his way towards the corner, working on a defender, kicks it out to Tynes. Just been doing it all mid-range. No good. Vickers with the rebound. His 5th. Keeping the ball in just barely. Maryville now an open shot again. Jaden Smith's been hot, and he continues the streak with a beautiful shot from the corner.
3 for 3 from deep for Jaden Smith.
He now has 12 points. And his second 3-point make in about 20 seconds. Here's a big foul as Bingham went in strong and was fouled pretty hard. 1-on-1 bonus he will have, unless they say that was in the act of shooting. They very well could. They will. So we will see 2 free throws from the stripe. For the man who only has 4, but he needs 13 to get to 1,000.
That was a very hack-a-shack type deal right there. They knew he was going to score, so they just grabbed him.
Slides it in.
8.
Why, Drew? What do you mean 8? What do you mean by that? What are you counting down?
I'm not a mathematician, nor am I good at math, but he needs 8 more points to get to 1,000.
Well, if he makes a shot, what's the number going to be? Let's test your math skills out a little bit.
It's 7.
6 points to this point in the contest for Jesse Bingham, who, again, he averages 16. He's a top 5 scorer in the conference. Been a slow start, but he's right there. He's only a couple buckets away, to your point. Inside, working on Tynes. Can't get it to go. It's Voss. Big rebound by Kendrick Choa. This year, he's top 3 in the conference in rebounding.
And the team's number 1 overall in the GLVC in rebounds.
And that's why we thought it was pretty crazy that Maryville out-rebounded the Greyhounds in that first half, but since then, things have kind of started to return back to normal. Indianapolis with that lead. Missing a shot. Jumping up and getting that board was Davis Walker, and he now has it for 3 straight away, but just a little too strong. Can't get it to go. Another rebound from Choa. Continues to add to his numbers. He's got 7 rebounds now and 11 points. Pretty impressively also has 2 assists.
Choa doesn't get a lot of assists, but when he does, they're pretty.
How about that? Through contact, puts up another bucket. It's Bingham on the inside. And Drew, what's the number now?
I think it's 5.
5 points away.
We're a single hand away.
Missed shot again. Oh, a lot of contact there for Vickers. He's slow to get up. On the other end, the Greyhounds now with a 5-4 advantage. Leaves an open 3, and it's a miss. And now the whistle blows. Seen a lot of contact of late, and unfortunately for Harrison Vickers, a lot of that has come on him. That's the first time we've heard the whistle blow in a while, though. With that, takes us to the under 8. More next from Nickerson Hall. The Greyhounds with the lead.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
Points. That's the lead for Indianapolis. 5 points. That's the difference between Jesse Bingham and 1,000 career points, and you see his 7th and 8th point drop in there. He's having himself a good day. Here's the different angle of that same shot. Through a lot of contact. Smith really tried to rough him up a bit. Maybe all ball, but there's a lot of contact. Still got it, and it looks like they going to send him to the line. Vickers got called with a foul on that last possession before the timeout. That was on the rebound. 9th foul called by the team from now on. Greyhounds in the double bonus. Hits the first of a 1-and-1. From the stripe, a quiet Nickerson Hall. His jersey number reached 3. That's the amount of points he needs to hit that milestone. The last person to do it for Indianapolis is sitting 2 rows in front of you and I, Drew. His name is Corey Miller Jr. Just graduated a season ago. Played with Bingham for 2 years. On the other end, looking for a three. Nice fake, step back, triple. Palacios gets his first shot, mate of the day. He was 0 of 6 before that, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc, and he finally knocks one down. Bingham with a pick, tries to get open. He does here. A lot of contact. That's an offensive foul with a charge against Bingham.
He had an opportunity to step back and take a three, but he tried to drive the lane there. Great defensive play there by Maryville.
Not looking as Voss. Now he has to track down the ball. No harm, no foul. So he'll take it up. And how about Dwayne Voss? Had 14 early points and has really cooled off since then. He's got the ball here now. Also 6 rebounds, 5 assists. A great stat line, but a turnover there. For Voss, that's his 8th turnover. And you hate to see it. Really the damper on such a good day. Here's Williams on the other end. Bruno Williams shifts around beyond the arc. Oh, that could have been the shot. Instead, Bingham's going to work inside. Launches it to his teammate. Can it be an assist instead? It's a miss. Robinson, high school teammates at Warren Central with Bingham, can't get it to go on the other end. Here's a little floater, left-handed, and doesn't even hit the rim. Rebound goes to Jacoby. How about this? All the contact in the world doesn't matter. A 2-point shot after a full court pass and an injury, but Choa, high fives, his 13th point. But the damper on that play was Jaden Smith. Let's step aside.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you.
Jaden Smith for the Saints, a redshirt sophomore from Quincy, Illinois, the transfer, also transferred from Quincy University. He's able to get up and walk away on his own power, just a little shaken up. That's what happens when you find yourself on the wrong end of a Kendrick Choa play in the paint. His replacement comes in and kicks that one out. His name's Jake Peterson. Driving in, nice little spin from Palacios, having a slow day, kicks it out to Peterson, and Peterson makes his worth known early. Jake Peterson, that's his first made three-pointer of the year. He's taken 7, and that's the first time one's gone through the net. Jesse Bingham, again, 3 points away from the 1,000 career mark, and he's behind the arc right now. Has to lose it. Turnover. Peterson. How about that? Jake Peterson, a 3 on one end, a steal and a dunk. Jake Peterson, earn yourself some minutes.
He's looking like an all-star.
He's only had 3 total points all year.
Scored one of those in the last meeting against the Greyhounds.
How wild. A man who's got 3 points all year, comes in due to injury, has 5 points in about 10 seconds, and gets us to a timeout here called by Coach Corsaro. High fives for that man. Let's take another look here. Man, that was impressive. Nice little flush with the right hand. We'll probably see him back out on the floor. Sure hope so after this from Nickerson Hall.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UIndy TV News.
Taking a look at the Greyhound huddle, calling a timeout after what was a rough little stretch. Indianapolis taken out of their last 4 triples. They've only made 1, and they've allowed Maryville. And that man right there by himself to go on a 5-0 run. It was a 3-pointer, his first one of the season, and then a dunk, also his first one of the season. After getting a steal, Jake Peterson having himself a nice little stretch. Coming in in spot relief after Jaden Smith went down. You sure hope he's all right. So now we'll resume action. Inside of 5 to go in the game. The game's all but over, but what everyone's watching now is to see if Jesse Bingham can hit the 1,000th career mark. He's got it now. Tight defense as he's seen all game. Comes in strong, puts up a 2, and he gets it. Banks it off the board. The next shot or foul shot is the one. And he's back in the double figures. He's got 12 points today after scoreless in the first half. Steinfeld gets the rebound and launches it to the other end. And what do you think the messaging is here, Drew? Is it get the ball to number 3?
It's got to be. I mean, yeah, they all know.
Bingham with the drive to get the career mark, and he can't. Taps back in from Steinfeld. Give him the offensive board and the 2 points. Steinfeld with 7 and 7 now. Stolen away. Tynes to Bingham. This could be the one. This is the one on a dunk. Jesse Bingham, 1,000 career points. The whistle blows. Recognize that young man. A standing ovation from Nickerson Hall. Look at this feed. Look at this dunk. What a storybook way to get his 1,000th career point in a Greyhound jersey. Hugs for that man.
A great look there by Tynes. He could have dunked that himself. Found the open man in Jesse Bingham. Got his 1,000th point as a Greyhound.
A standing ovation inside of Nickerson Hall. And a hug from Coach Corsaro. I'd say you sit that man down for the rest of the game. His day should be done. He has earned it. My goodness, with the hops. Drew, you can make it on a free throw. You can make it on a layup, just a little mid-range shot. But the fact that he got that one on a dunk as his family, his mom up in the stands screaming with the 1,000-point banner in her hand. What a sight.
Yeah, the fact that he got that on a cockback dunk, that picture is going to look fantastic. He's going to have that hung up for a while.
Steinfeld with the foul as we are now forced to let our heart rates drop. Go back to game action for the final 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Hey, the Greyhounds, when they score 68 or more points, they're undefeated underneath that mark, winless. But this time they're at 73, in large part thanks to the last run that Jesse Bingham's been on. Sean Craig gets a rebound, fights with a couple other Greyhounds to get it. Now the second team in for Indianapolis, led by Ben Nickerson. You see David Eja in there with Jarvis Walker, a couple transfers in there as well with Julian Steinfeld and Sean Craig, the freshman, number 33, who has it now. He's the three-point specialist. As I'm sure the starter's day is over. Walker spins around, step back, mid-range, and it's good. Jarvis Walker with a nice shot. That's his 11th point in double figures, the third Greyhound to do so. Williams and Choa, rather I make it the fourth Greyhound to get in double figures as Bingham has 14 points himself.
The second unit of the Greyhounds offense and defense, just the second unit in general, is just so good that they could be a starting five for literally any other team in the GLVC.
The drive, tipped away. He gets it, kicks it out to Peterson, who's been perfect today, but that time he shows why he's a big man who lives in the paint. Misses the shot from downtown. Craig comes in strong, loses the ball, picked back up by the Greyhounds. Lost again, and this time a foul, probably against Peterson. It was a glorious start for Jake Peterson, but a couple quick mistakes. Not quite what you want to see. Some reserves, some reinforcements ready to come in here for Maryville. Last time, or rather the series between these two teams, UND leads it 11-3. Again, they beat Maryville in St. Louis. That was about a month ago. The final score there was 75-58. Look up what the score is now. I mean, it's a very similar game.
I mean, with under 2 minutes left here, there's really not much Maryville can do to try and come away with a victory here. I mean, you just got to play hard to the end. And just focus on your next game from here on out. Next game for them will be UIS on Thursday. They just wrapped up a 4-game road trip. Ended here tonight in Indianapolis.
Meanwhile, the Greyhounds are in the midst of a 4-game homestand, including the Pack the House night on Saturday. It's where Coach Corsaro and this squad trying to get everybody in Indianapolis out to Nickerson Hall. That'll be on Saturday at 3 o'clock. The women's game before it at 1 o'clock as we see the final 100 seconds tick off the clock. Nice little block from Walker, picked up by Ija. They've shown some good chemistry together. 2 newcomers on this team this year. But yeah, if you're in the Indianapolis area, come on out. 3 o'clock on Saturday against McKendree. This Greyhounds team is fun to watch, and they've really showcased that here over the last 9 games, winning every single one of them, including that top 25 matchup against Umsel on Saturday. Took care of business there, 77-70. Step back 3. Sean Craig, he's so good at hitting those. Sean Craig with a tough shot from 25 feet.
Yeah, that was a step back 3 right in your face. He's just a 3-point machine. Wonder why he wears number 33.
The other number 33 takes a 3. That bounces around. It's a miss. Rebound goes to Ija. 40 seconds. A couple ticks over to go here in this game. And for Indianapolis, I mean, they're ranked 24th right now, but you know that ranking is going to skyrocket starting tomorrow when that coaches poll comes out sometime tomorrow afternoon after beating an 11th ranked Umsel and then these 2 big wins to bookend that 3-game weekend. You know that they're going to move up pretty high in the coaches poll. This one, it's all over, but Peterson and Maryville just trying to get something of note going into the bus ride home. It's blocked, though. How about that? Jarvis Walker gets called with a foul, but he really shows a little bit of dominance on the inside.
I like that. I mean, I like that they're still playing hard all the way to the last whistle.
5 seconds to go here in the game, so we'll just see a couple free throws here. Indianapolis shows off another game with an impressive defense. They're averaging opponents to score just 62 a game. Here, obviously, 10 points below that mark. Celebrations for Jesse Bingham and his teammates. The 1,000th point man today. From the stripe, hits it, gets it to 53. And now the final 5 going to tick off the board. A win for the Greyhounds, 9 straight. Stick around in a conversation with either Coach Corsaro or Jesse Bingham to come.
Greyhounds pull away there in the second half. 79-53 is your final here today. As we had a lot that has happened over the last hour and a half. Bruno Williams came out firing, had the first 8 points of the game as he went perfect from 3-point land over there. As Nathaniel gets ready to talk to Jesse and Coach Corsaro. Jesse Bingham, as you see there, running off into the locker room. As we will head down to the court now with Nathaniel having Coach
Here
Corsaro.
with Coach Corsaro. Coach, a big win for the Greyhounds. I mean, you've won 9 straight. What's the biggest reason why?
We have a group of unselfish guys, and when you're deep and they're unselfish and they just care about winning, it makes it makes it easier to win.
One of those unselfish guys. Where's the number 3? Big night for him, 1,000 points. Why is he so good for this team?
Because he's not just the best player, he's the best person. He works his butt off every day. Everything he gets is earned, and I'm really happy for his accomplishment. I told him, let's go get 1,000 more.
You've got 4 Hounds in double figures today. The team, it's not led by just one guy. How big is that for this season so far? You've got so many guys that can score, such a deep team.
Yeah, we don't worry about who's scoring and who's the leading scorer. We just try to move the ball around and get the best shot possible.
Coach, a big game coming up on Saturday, right? What do you want to say to the folks?
Please come out, pack the house night. Let's pack Nickerson Hall. Start to make this the best game day atmosphere in the GLVC.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Back to you, Drew.
Thank you, Nathaniel, and thank you, Coach Corsaro. As the Greyhounds come away victorious here today, 79-53. We'll take a look at your player of the game. I'm actually going to give it to 2 people here this afternoon, as we'll give it to Bruno Williams for starting off with that hot start. And we'll give it to Jesse Bingham, who hit 1,000 career points on that dunk right there. And it is truly something special to reach that milestone of 1,000 career points.
What a game for him. What a game for the entire Greyhound squad. We appreciate Coach Corsaro for giving us that conversation at the end of the game. That's just, it's been something else here for that man, number 3 for the Greyhounds. He has been incredible his entire career, but this year, just been a little bit different. He's been the one with all the weight on his shoulders, and boy, has he responded.
Yeah, and it's been great. I mean, he, like Coach Corsaro said, he's a great man, and he's done everything right for this team, for this community, for his family, and he's just been a real leader on and off the court.
Well, that'll conclude this broadcast. The Greyhounds ahead 79-53 with the win. We've got a women's game on Saturday at 1 o'clock, a men's game at 3 o'clock. You heard Coach Corsaro talk about it. Come on out to Nicholson Hall, but if you can't, hey, come on out here and tune into the broadcast on the GLVC Sports Network and UND TV. A big thank you to our wonderful crew. We've got Luke Cooper, Sydney Smith, and Joey Messenbrink running the cameras. Production work over there doing double duty is Brandon Barger, our director, Landon Coons. For Drew Ranke, I'm Nathaniel Finch signing off from Nicholson Hall.